suppose some of you will and this actually is shared with an array
but then after hearing talks, hearing talks, free talks, especially creation today, I thought I can make this like. So I kept the luggage here. But then James Vedare said that I am not giving the important until Manishwar connection. So I need to stay there and do the lecture because they make my job much easier. I have a lot of introductory slides introduced in my talk, but I'm going to skip and just tell you how this artificial intelligence has revolutionized the field of medicine. See, I worked in AIMS for nearly 30 years as the chief of MRI center, and a lot of work done on cancer imaging, basically. So today, this artificial intelligence has changed our life to a very extent. The way we see, the way we perceive. So also, it has changed the field of medical practice as well. And it is now possible for us to detect abnormalities using AI at a very, very early stage. The identification of a tumor location inside a human body at an early stage is very important, so that you can plan accordingly, depending upon the stage of the tumor and how aggressive it is. Same tumor, for example, if you take breast cancer, same stage in some individual people which are aggressive, in some individual they may not be aggressive. So you need to know the phenotype and the relevance of that. So all this is possible using many radiological and clinical parameters built into this AI system. Having said that AI is going to revolutionize or already revolutionized the field of clinical radiology and clinical medicine, one needs to be very cautious. Let me also figure out very deeply in the sense, in AI, if you put the input as garbage, what you get output is output. So the input for space systems have to be very, very useful. In fact, COVID revolutionized the field of artificial intelligence and digital, because we need to get things at a very fast rate so that we can use the AI. So this is the kind of outline of artificial intelligence. And say for example, we have this artificial intelligence, then machine learning, and the machine learning has to be learning. Basically, artificial intelligence is nothing but a science and making an intelligent computer and to perform what you do. And what is machine learning? Because the machine learning, deep learning are the words that are sort of over and over used in many of the scientific papers. Is basically the machine learning comprises of algorithm using statistical models and ask the machine, the computer that you develop, actually to do that now. And deep learning is nothing but the subset of machine learning. And then network graph doing the supervised and supervised and reinforced learning. So if you want to compare the human intelligence versus artificial intelligence, Dr. Suresh gave a very nice lecture in relation to aerospace. Remember one thing, whether it is aerospace or medicine, there are many dynamic variables that are there. And the machine uses some of the static variables that we actually give into the machines to do their work. The reason is that human physiology is very complex. No one individual will have the same kind of a physiology and metabolism like the other individual. So in short, if one can make a general statement, medicine is based on statistics. For example, if 100 people are given frozen to get rid of headache, but people like Jagannathan will not get rid of the headache with frozen, simple paracetamol. For me, I don't feel it's necessary. So basically, medicine is a statistical. Of course, we build into a lot of biology and other aspects. So difference like CT cells, larger than 3D. Whereas artificial intelligence, what you actually give will we actually release out. So if we take the literature as of last year, if you see the growth of the papers, the exponential growth of the papers, in 2022, we have close to about 40,000 papers on artificial intelligence, mainly related to healthcare in medicine. And what are the areas in which this artificial intelligence in medicine is? For example, like discovery, smart diagnostic, nowadays you have artificially driven watches that can measure all the blood pressure, the second imaging and radiology and pathology is important because pathology, histopathology, it shows is the ultimate gold standard for identifying the tumour cancer. Then medical records, EMR, suspension rate, surgical treatment, monitoring, management, all are possible in this one. So, in general, if you want to summarize, what is the role of AI in medicine? The areas that basically that we use is diagnosis and monitoring. Diagnosis, what I mean, as early as possible, right? Then you use for that imaging, and it can be used in surgery, remote consultation, teleconsultation, personalized treatment. Once you have the genomics, proteomics of the tissues that you do, then you can have the personalized treatment, drug development, then medical statistics, that you are managing the patient. If you take, for example, because I practice more of MRI in radiology, if we increase the efficiency of the imaging interpretation, like for example, it can be a simple X-ray, it can be ultrasound, it can be CT, PET, MR, and it offers a very quick analysis of the image data. And also, you can compare the earlier images in few seconds and give the radiologist a clue. To help the radiologist for faster acquisition and also in interpretation of the images. So these are all possible. And compare the images of the old scans and then actually give this radiologist how they compare with the images. That means longitudinal studies have been taken from the same patient and the images are compared. We go to the next one.
Next slide.
Yeah. And also you will use it in drug development. Because you can use this artificial intelligence with the neural networks to identify neural molecules. Because any drug coming to the clinical load, it takes a very long time and a lot of money, billions of dollars. And that can be solved by using artificial networks to zero in on very few molecules so that the drug discovery can be faster by the use of artificial network. So if you, for example, look at the protocol of doing any imaging technology, what I have shown basically is the artificial intelligence can help you to finalize the protocol. The protocol, what I mean is, what are the different experiments or investigations that one need to know if they go for a CT scan or MRI scan or a PET scan. So the SOP can be very easily be optimized with artificial intelligence. And then it will also help you to give the interpretation, which is the next one. And finally, the diagnosis. So artificial intelligence in radiology is a very important role. And earlier, we used to do manually segment the tumors for targeted therapy. It can be radiography or any other thing. Then the manual segmentation has a lot of. It depends upon the parameters with which the image is acquired, whether it can be from CT or MRI. So with artificial intelligence, you don't have to intervene because you have a basis set which is built in with thousands and thousands of images and train the computer to identify. And all these reconstructions using deep learning and machine learning can be applied to all imaging modalities, whether it be simple X-ray, digital X-ray, CT, MRI, etc. So all these can improve not only the quality of the images that you get, but also the resolution can be very easily be increased. I will give you some examples of that. One new field in radiology, like genomics and proteomics, we have radiomics. Suppose, for example, you have a CT scan or an MRI scan of a brain. There are so many parameters one can actually determine. So this is a evolving area of medical imaging. And basically, what is the rationale is that the parameters that you actually sort of decipher from these images comes from the human molecular phenotype and genotype. That is one of the reasons I made a conscious statement. No one individual is the same. The physiology of each individual is different. So that is why the phenotype and genotype becomes very essential. So the genotypic heterogeneity actually contributes to the divergent nature of the human heterogeneity and the appearance in the brain. So there is a growing interest in radiomics, and the radiomics also uses a lot of algorithms like what I have actually given and histogram, gray level coordinates, matrix, etc. So it's a subfield of radiology. And all these parameters now can be built into the artificial intelligence. I will give you a few examples. Like for example, this is a chest X-ray of a person actually suffering from pneumonia. So what is on the left is the input X-ray image. What is on the right is the artificially algorithm that was done. And these images of about 100 patients or more were evaluated by 4 radiologists, and these were compared with the artificial intelligence. And what the final conclusion is that the algorithm actually exceeds the radiological performance in informatics. So sometimes it can give much better information. Having said that, be very careful that sometimes it can be a misconception. So you have to actually have the human intervention at all times. In medicine, you cannot take it for granted. In medicine, the question is yes or no. Nothing between yes or no. For example, if you do a prostate, the person comes with a high level of PSA, more than 4 nanograms per deciliter, it's a suspicious for a prostate cancer. So they do the digital rectal examination by putting that finger there and finding out how the prostate. And if they also find some kind of heterogeneity, the patient has to go biopsy. Right? Now, the biopsy may reveal cancer or may not reveal cancer. Now, can you use all these techniques to find out whether the cancer is there or not? Some people argue, even if there is one pixel maybe just 5 millimeter, a cancer is a cancer. But the only fortunate thing for a prostate cancer is that it is very indolent, it is a dormant tumor compared to breast cancer, which can be most of the times very aggressive and very virulent. So you can actually use even the simple ultrasound. That is the first line of activity in medicine. First is X-ray, the next is ultrasound. It is cheaply available, and all these AI techniques can be utilized with ultrasound to enhance the image quality of the ultrasound images. This is the first line of activity in clinical radiology. And the computational power and the algorithms of machine language and deep learning are so much that you can have a very nice picture of the internal organs of the body using these imaging algorithms. And that will help completely sort of assist the radiologists in the diagnosis and the detection and the quantification. This is one example of a CT scan. What I have shown on the left is with a patient where a very low dose of CT, because CT uses X-rays. The advantage of MRI, it doesn't use any ionizing radiation compared to CT and X-rays. So subjecting a patient to n number of times to CT scan is very dangerous because it uses the high-end wavelength of the electromagnetic spectrum. So naturally, research is focusing on using low dose of CT. And here is a case, this is a high dose of this one, a low dose of this one. And along with the algorithm, they develop, people are different and appreciate that the tumor is very highly resolved and very easily visible to their naked eye, whereas it is not possible without the use of the algorithm. Nowadays, we have fusion of technologies. Like I can fuse synthetic image that Dr. Suresh was finding. Fuse CT and MRI scans. The reason why we are fusing is that CT is still good for hard body structures, whereas MRI is not comfortable with body structures. MRI is basically a soft tissue contrast, and the MRI is non-invasive. And I can get images in the three orthogonal directions, and not only that, in addition to three orthogonal orientations, I can get any oblique plane images up to 3 oblique plane. What does that mean? Tumor is not homogeneous. Tumor is heterogeneous. And the way it spreads in the organ is also very random. In one direction it will be high, in one direction it will be less. So, being very heterogeneous, doing and getting only orthogonal slices is a troublesome. You cannot estimate the tumor. So I can now get, say for example, Dr. Bellare is asking me to have a slice saturated 30 degrees greater than corona. It's possible. And Suroj wants me a transverse greater than 30 degrees corona. Possible. Or without disturbing the patient or the equipment. Whereas in CT, the gantry will go here, the transmitter will be there X-ray, and the receiver will be here. So when it is transferred, this will go up. Whereas in MRI, nothing moves. The patient should also not move. He should be very static, or she should be very static. And only the pulses, the RF pulses will be made. That is why you get this sound, along with the magnetic field gradient. We get that sound like moving as a train, like that. That's because the current is switched off in an nanoseconds in all the 3 directions to get these images in the oblique plane or in the orthogonal. So when you fuse the information of a CT, which is very good for bones, and MRI very good for soft tissue, you have a gold line for the fused image. You can get so many things in detail. And that is one of the examples that I given is this segmentation. See here, left is the one computer tomograph for the CT code. The middle one is the bone beam, and the last one is the T2 image. And the segmentation, the tumor is marked. Red is one from the algorithm, and the yellow is from the radiologist. It coincides very well. But making things from the radiologist is much easier. And this is a synthetic image generated from the T1 and T2 images. Now, low resolution MRI are order of the day. You don't have to have a 1.5 Tesla, 3 Tesla MRI scanner. You can have 0.55 or 0.6 MRI. But the resolution and sensitivity are very poor, like what I have shown on the top one. That is an image that you got from 0.65 Tesla, 0.65. I don't know how many of you know about Tesla. 1 Tesla is 10,000 volts. Remember one thing, we are all in an environment of electromagnetic field, and the magnetic field of the earth is 0.5 Gauss. So when I say 1 Tesla mag, it means it is basically 20,000 times greater than the earth magnetic field. So that is the unit of time where the patient is put in a horizontal direction, and the moment the patient is put inside the horizontal direction, what happens? The human body weight, 70 to 80%, comes from the water that is present in the tissues, water and fat. And MRI is nothing but the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional image representation in these planes of the distribution of hydrogens in the tissues. That is what is MRI. Nothing but distribution of hydrogens present in the water and fat. And that being different, because nature gave that from different organs of the body. And even if you do, for example, the brain scan, even within the brain scan, the different regions of the brain have a different concentration of the hydrogens of the water. Gray matter has a different hydrogen concentration. White matter has a different concentration. That is why the contrast that you see in MRI is inherent in nature. It is not the external contrast like an iodic dye that you need to see. It's a natural contrast which nature gave us. So the resolution becomes very low. So when I basically now do the AI algorithm, the bottom panel, you will see a very nice high resolution MRI scan. So you can see that you can do that similarly for breast cancer. And so you can also identify using the electronics and also AI the tumor margins in the breast cancer. Identification of tumor margin is essential for operative procedures. If there is a small tumor, the whole breast is removed. But if it's a very big tumor, even removing the breast is very difficult. So we need to bring down the size of the tumor. That's why chemotherapy is given. And then go for surgery. And for all these, the AI will be used. Like for example, here also before treatment, the tumor is very huge. The left panel and the right panel you can see after treatment is very less. So we can do a lot of things. You can do it in prostate, similar thing. And there is a lot of procedures that we find that we want to see the prostate contour, segment it where the tumor is there, and we do it. So finally, you can also do metastatic. I will remove this. You can also do it in primary international, right? Not only in the tertiary aspect, because it will improve the diagnosis and the management, clinical decision. So primary health has a contribution. So there is a recent survey in 2022, and 23% of the US healthcare executives believe that artificial intelligence is very effective in improving the clinical outcomes. So again, is it good or frightening? Basically, it is not frightening. But with the recent chat GPT, the favor of AI is something. So one has to be very careful. I told you earlier, we put a garbage inside the garbage bin. So you have to be very, very careful. So what is the take-home message? For sure, AI is going to affect and reshape the healthcare system. It will change the fundamental principles and approaches of medical services as well as education. And multimodal imaging, like CT, MRI, can be combined to get, along with MRI, AI, you can get much more high resolution images. Possible to detect cancer, tumor, abnormalities at the early stage, and telemedicine is also there. Possible. But there are a lot of challenges. There is a word of caution. The clinical effectiveness of the AI and validation is not required. Much more data need to be validated. And the stakeholders, private government organizations are facing this validation. Because you cannot have 100 patient data to build the AI. You need lakhs, 100%. And the reliability and safety is required. And the ethical practice is needed. You cannot ask the AI to predict what is the tumor. You should have the human intervention. And there are a lot of ethical aspects involved. And that is one of the reasons why people that they don't sort of want AI to be introduced in this. So official regulations and guidelines are required, and that is not there. That's why you have a lot of reports coming about the issues. So, last but not the least, is you should to monitor the practice of AI. So you keep a watch on what AI is doing. So with that, I will conclude, and thank you very much.
Okay, any questions from the front row? Okay, Prof. Jagannathan is going to be up there for lunch. And but please get in touch with him if you are ready for any questions.
Previous speaker, you said together with our better health system within the next decade of this. Thank you for that. I have experience out of this. CT scans and other I don't need to go to the next level as I say. Thank you.
From healthcare, we move on to chemistry. And we have Professor Arvind Sunoj from IIT Bombay, very renowned research teaches some aspects of high performance computing, analysis, and so on. Okay. So I should just mention for students out here, Professor Sulokan just won the National Award for teaching. So you should pay attention and benefit from the teaching.
For the kind invitation to come here. And then
We have a small momentum for the previous speaker.